So I was asked recently about what I think of people that fool around in the gym. And I asked for to be more specific because I was just curious what you mean by fool around. Like like run around or like just laugh once in a while, crack jokes. Like what do you mean fool around? And person in the details saying fool around like not take anything seriously, not being focused on the weights itself, but instead being focused on causing causing uh really just havoc, causing havoc and just not really focusing on the exercises, but instead focusing on trying to cause a ruckus and just make a scene really and try to bring attention to them. And yeah, obviously when it comes to fooling around, I'm against that. Fool around in that sense. Of course, I'm against. You shouldn't be, there. It's exercise. You're there to exercise. You're there to perform. You're there to get better. You're there to better yourself. You're not there to, it's not a playground, really. You could call it a playground, but if you actually don't use it as a playground, do you know what I'm saying? You can't go there and act like you're 5 years old, run around causing havoc and dropping weights and throwing things around, laughing, acting like you're 7 years old. You can't be doing that. Obviously, that I don't think that anybody should be allowed in the gym if they're going to be doing that. But what I'm trying to get at is the gym is a place where, of course, you can laugh with your friends, you can have fun, you can have conversations, and you can talk to people. That's totally fine. It should be a social environment. Honestly, you should be able to have conversation, and then, but then get your workout in as well. You don't just obviously sit there talk for like 20 minutes straight and not get your workout in either. Talk, lift, or live for a while, and then just once in a while have some small talk with somebody, and then go back to working out. But no, if you're there, you're on your phone, you're looking at your phone the whole time, you're calling somebody on the phone, you're laughing, being loud, like like you can't be doing stuff like that. And you also can't be messing around with the weights too. Like if you don't know what you're doing, ask for help or be serious about that. Like if you really don't know what you're doing, don't force it. And then all of a sudden I see you chucking weights, throwing things, could injure yourself, could injure others. It's not good. You shouldn't obviously play around with it like you're a 5-year-old and you're throwing things around. You shouldn't be doing that. You're there to get the job done. And if you're way too young and you're going to be acting like that, first off, you should have a parent with you, or you should have somebody that's older, an older adult with you if you're way too young. But if you are, an adult, you're 18 plus, you should start to realize that, you're there for a certain goal, and you're there to better yourself, and you're there to exercise and feel good and be healthy. You're not there to cause a scene and just bring negative attention to you, by being loud, obnoxious, making people stare at you. Like it's just not a good look. You're not supposed to do that. So yeah, what I mean by that is fool around. Yeah, no. If fooling around means that, then definitely I'm against it. Of course. When you're there, you're there for a reason. The gym is is for exercise. It's for working out. That's literally what the purpose is. But obviously, if you're you're with your buddies and you are young, you say you are 17, 18, 19 years old, and you're with your buddies, you're with 2 or 3 of your friends, and you're lifting. Of course, you can have some laughs, you can have fun, you can still see it as fun, you can still see it as your playground, but don't act like it's a playground and start whipping things and throwing things and running around and that's gonna cause injury. Or even worse, if you're in a big gym, the boss, the person who owns the gym is going to kick you out. You're not going to be allowed to go in there anymore. So just see it as it is. There's a time and place for everything. Like a library, you're not supposed to be screaming and yelling and singing and all this crap at a library, right? You're supposed to be quiet. Shh, I'm reading. Hello, I'm reading. Be quiet, because it's a library. That's what libraries are supposed to be. Shh. So, time and place for everything, And, of course, like I go back to the friends. If you have, your buddies with you and you're lifting and you're having fun, of course, you can have some laughs, some talk, some small talk here and there. Talk between the sets. If you don't have your headphones, of course, you could just, talk. Talking is allowed. Of course you could talk, but it's what you're expressing, what you're doing. If you are screaming, if you are drawing bad attention to you by yelling and you're being just obnoxious and you're fooling around with the weights and you're messing around with them and you're not doing the right things, then yeah, I'm fully against that. So that's my answer to that. But remember, I had to throw in the group part of that too, of course, because if you're with your friends and you're all adults, of course you can talk and you can have some laughs, but don't be a child, don't be acting like you're 6 or 7 years old and you just start, fooling around with the weights to an extent of you could actually hurt somebody or you could hurt yourself, and that's just no good. That's not going to bring any positive reaction to anything. It's not going to bring any good to it. So, but that's what I got to say about the fool around part. Hopefully I answered your question well. That's just how I feel about that. And I like how you guys keep asking me questions. I'm just going to keep on answering them. I get asked about 110, 115 questions a day. I can only answer so many. I'm not going to be dropping 4 or 5 videos daily, but I'm trying to answer as many as I can. The ones that stick out the most, of course, I'm going to try to answer those ones, the ones that get back to me really quick, or the ones that really want me to respond. I'm going to get back to those ones. I'm going to actually try to get to all of them eventually at one point. They're not lost, they're in my files. I got them. So I'll keep on responding to them. I'll keep on answering them, but hopefully you guys like my answer, and let's stay active and get kinetic.